Looks like we got some Beyblade X news. So this has seemingly been leaked for the future release schedule from now until like what, May? Well, we did technically already have listings. We now actually have more confirmation on some interesting details for the future, such as CX and other stuff we're going to be taking a look at. So, and by the way, if you want to get Beyblade X products from a Canadian import seller, check out malabays.com. We have amazing Beyblade X products that are Japan imported. It is an optional way to support the channel. I appreciate any and all support regardless. And by the way, if you like bays that spin, please make sure to subscribe and comment your thoughts. Let us get started. So credit to Gamma from Reddit for actually the translation work and obviously posting up the listing stuff. Does seem pretty interesting that we kind of have this info now. I do want to say that for the most part, there are a lot of things that I didn't know a little bit ahead of time, but obviously I have to wait till info comes out one way or another. I would say for the most part, everything does seem to be right, though keep in mind this, CT can change or move releases or certain details can get moved around, so keep that in mind. But I would say for the most part, this does seem to be pretty accurate, but again, grain of salt, just want to put it out there. Aside from that, let's go over some of the main stuff. So obviously we have our BXG 12 anniversary set, which releases on 3/21. So this is the big anniversary set where you get your Storm Pegasus, your Valkyrie, your Dragoon Storm, and that fucking stupid drawn sword that's so basic. But what's really interesting here is that we now get all the dates for when does CX and everything release, which doesn't really surprise me too much. Everything is slated for the end of March, which is going to be March 29th, 2025. So let's kind of go over kind of the quick descriptions I kind of have for all this stuff. So they're saying that CX-01 is an Evo, I'm gonna put in air quotes here, of Drawn Buster, can adjust attack from both sides. So if it ends up actually being the case, that'd be interesting. If it's just Drawn Buster, but like now that one hit part is now on both sides, I like this. I like this. This kind of reminds me of if they execute it right, maybe like Flash Sagittario's attack mode or Manta Diver from Plastic Gin. If this ends up being the case, very based, I will like this. So CX-02, they're saying it's supposed to be an Evo, again in air quotes, of Hell's Hammer. Hell's Hammer, interesting. I would say probably my favorite was either Scythe, obviously because of its stamina dominance and good defense. But I think Hell's Chain was a pretty good design for the Hell's lineup. Hammer, I think fell flat. I'll say for the most part, just because they're trying to do this thing where they're trying to have the base slam opponents onto the ground, but it didn't really have the weight, nor do I really think the shape to kind of pull that off. But I'm kind of curious, if you were to fix Hell's Hammer, how would you fix it in the shape and design? And let me know how you'd kind of do those contact points. This is the very interesting part, which I'm skeptical on, but I guess we'll eventually see the confirmation. I would have thought that CX-03 would obviously be a wand wizard, like some variant of that, or like, I mean, of Wizard Rod, but like in the CX lineup. But they're actually saying a variant, or I guess the CX version of like Knight Lance. So when they're saying like Evo Lance, Evo Hammer, all the stuff, whatever, I'm assuming they just mean like very much inspired by the design, kind of carrying those traits onwards. That would be interesting. I guess maybe some implications in the story, maybe because we're seeing a lot more dominant attackers in this season with Arrow and Impact Drake. Maybe Multi wants to make a bay that can defend against all those powerful opponents. Then after they just say CX-04 is just the stadium battle set, the standard one that we get. Like for example, UX-04 just has 1 and 3, but a different recolors. This one was already a given, but BXG-13 Excalibur X-Over, we already saw for an example from Leo Toy, where we saw a recolor of the Hold launcher. So this again does not surprise me at all. I've already said for the longest time Excalibur won the first place in the X-Over vote, so it makes the most amount of sense they're going to be reprinting it. And then after some of the other stuff, which is like super small, we got confirmation that was it BX40 is supposed to be a winder launcher, but for the left spin. I've been saying that they're always going to have one product released one way or another, so it's very good to see that it's not locked in the anniversary set to get a left winder and we get it in the same month of release. That's going to be really exciting for releases like El Drago, Cobalt, and anything else in the future to use winder. I have nothing against string, I just like the power of winder. Yeah, that's cool. And the other stuff, basic rubber grip, whatever. It says CX on the listing, but that's a typo. That should be BX41, 42, whatever. Also, we get the gear case whites. The gear case is fine for storage. Like I did my original video on it. I don't hate it. I don't really think it's like too crazy, but it does store a lot of crap for me, so sure, why not? Now we move on to April, which this is going to be April 26th, mark it on the calendar. So they give us one kind of like blanket description of CX-05, so nothing to speculate on, but UX-14 got me interested. It says a blade that can swap from attack and defense mode. So from what I was told from UX-14, and from what I understand, this is seemingly supposed to be kind of like the Chozy Awakening base, potentially, kind of like how you'll go from one to another. I don't know how it's supposed to be executed or anything like that. Every time I've been asking for these comparisons of what is UX-14 closest to, always says the same thing, like a Chozy Awakening type gimmick. Actually can do some mode change, whatever, I don't know. Let's see how they pull it off eventually in many, many months to come. The last one I do think is really, really cool. We get CX-06, which is supposed to be a fox motif with a rapid hit blade and multiple attack functions. So when they're kind of describing that, that kind of reminds me of maybe Samurai Saber for that type of gimmick thing, where Samurai Saber technically has multiple different modes for attack, but I don't know. But also CX-06 is the random select, by the way, so I think aside from that, it is pretty exciting that we get a little bit more info for the future. I don't really want to drag out this video because there's no point. There's not much discussion that I can really go with here. I think some of the stuff is exciting for the future. We do got some date confirmation, like May 17th for the CX-06, if I didn't already say it. So yeah, what are your thoughts and speculation for the future? What do you want CX to accomplish? You know, what customization? How do you want them to handle personas, bays, all that stuff? My most excited release probably for the future is going to be probably, honestly, I want to see like a really good Hell's base. So I'm going to say the Hammer, and I'll go with also maybe Excalibur or something like that. But yeah, that's kind of it for this video. So I want to say thank you all for watching. That's going to be it for now, and take care and bye.